The true story of how I realized I was a fascist.
Hey, Carlin, was there a moment in your search where you stand politically where you realized that you're a fascist? And what was your experience with that?
A lot of people in America are fascists, apparently. I mean, it's crazy. I thought we were a pro-democracy country, but apparently not.
The moment that I realized I was a fascist was the moment that I realized that classical liberalism could never beat the far left.
Classical liberalism is never going to defeat the far left? What the f are you talking about?
And that in order to actually defeat the far left in a real way, like hard times require hard choices, right? And it's like you don't always get what you want. Like I tell people all the time, in my heart of hearts, I'm an anarcho-capitalist. I'm extremely far right, but like I don't actually want to dictate to other people how to live their lives. I don't care if you're trans. I don't care. I don't want kids being trans, but like I don't care. Like if you're an adult and you want to fuck around, like I don't really care. I don't care what you do in the bedroom. It makes no difference to me at all. As long as you're not like trying to take my stuff from me and you're basically leaving me alone and letting me do whatever I want and you're not causing problems in my life, I truly do not care what you say and do. However, I think the thing that made me realize that maybe I was a little bit more fascist than maybe I previously thought I was the revelation that classical liberalism is literally never going to defeat the far left because the far left cannot be reasoned with. The only thing the far left understands is overwhelming force.
So this lady's a fascist in response to the far left, which is what? Communists? Is there some sort of far left power apparatus that I don't know about in this country? Like, what is she talking about?
Thing that ever has beaten back a communist revolution in the past is fascism. Just provably. That was true in Germany. That was true in Italy. That was true in Spain. Like, the only thing that can defeat communism is fascism. So, well, I might not be personally inclined to it in my default position. I'm also very much a realist. We live in the real world, guys. We don't live in a fantasy land of rainbows and unicorns where everything is perfect and everything is ideal. We live in the real world. We have to exist in the real world. And in the real world, there are consequences to allowing things to spin out of control. And in the real world, if we say, I'm just going to, talk to them like a good classical liberal and convince them in the free marketplace of ideas, that's never going to work. We know that's not going to work. There is no universe in which that's going to work. The left is in an ideological cult. The left is in an ideological cult that they are indoctrinating kids into from the time they're 5 years old in public school. You are not going to be able to have a conversation with them and convince them that they are wrong, no matter how many times you debunk them, no matter how many statistics you show them, no matter what you do, no matter how many books that you read, no matter how many names you call them, no matter how many times you own the libs on Twitter, no matter how many fucking memes you make, it does not work.
Okay, wow. First of all the last three things that she named, those aren't tactics to defeat the left. Those are tactics to perpetuate the culture war. Don't we all know this by now? Those compilations of crazy liberal women, that's not actually like a good faith attempt to change the world. So she's like, well, we tried, making them look really bad and laughing at them, and they didn't change their position. So fascism is the only thing left. This is a nice reprieve, though. I mean, we could be watching Iran stuff, World War III stuff. But I don't know, I'm kind of more interested in people like this because, like, I'm just a normal person, This is more accessible to me, What's going on with the population of this country? What's going on with the people like me? What are they thinking about all this? And it appears that there's a whole lot of people that have been convinced that leftism is scary. Human rights. Equality. We need fascism. I'm scared. We need fascism. I'm scared. That's what, apparently a lot of people in this country are doing right now. And they look that ridiculous while doing it.
And they do not want to leave the ideological cult. So when did I start to understand?
Leftists will not leave their cult and join and become fascist. The people that believe in human rights and equality won't be fascists, so we need a dictator.
Not work. They are in an ideological cult, and they do not want to leave the ideological cult. So when did I start?
What do cults have? What is like the most consistent feature of a cult? A cult leader, right? So how is MAGA not the cult? Isn't that a cult? Isn't it a cult when it's more about what the leader wants than the doctrine, the ideals, right? So this lady is saying that people that believe in ideals like human rights and equality, those people are just in a cult and they're crazy. Also, how are they a threat to you? I mean, they're not. They're not.
Understand that I was a fascist when I started to understand that the only way to get this ideology out of our environment is by burning all their books and preventing them from speaking and jailing them if they try to teach this shit to kids in schools.
What shit? If they try to teach what shit to kids in schools? What are you talking about? Do you even know what you're talking about?
That's when the classical liberalism created this problem. Classical liberalism, which says we should be able to push literally any idea into the free marketplace of ideas, and the best ideas will win. It literally created this problem. It is never going to solve this problem as long
what
as
problem?
And this is.
I'm sorry. What problem?
Books and preventing them from speaking and jailing them if they.
Oh my God. I don't think this lady actually has a grasp on what she's saying. I'm just going to be honest. I think she might be stupid. Okay?
So when did I start to understand that I was a fascist? When I started to understand that the only way to get this ideology out of our environment is by burning all their books and preventing them from speaking and jailing them if they try to teach this shit to kids in schools.
A lot of normal American people are talking like this, man. It's like they're so mad that people called them Nazis that they're just like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just be Nazis then. You know? Which is pretty crazy. Listen to what she's saying, man. She just literally is like, we have to burn all their books. What?
As long as you're not trying to take my stuff from me and you're basically leaving me alone and letting me do whatever I want and you're not causing problems in my life, I truly do not care what you say and do.
So you just want to be left alone. You want to be free, right? Is that what you're saying? You just want to be free, but you want fascism? What they really want is they want to be in one of the preferred groups under a fascist regime. They want to be privileged. And they want people that they don't like to be punished or killed or forced into labor or something like that. I don't know how else to fucking make sense of what she's saying. Or anyone that's pro-fascism. Are you into being oppressed? Do you want your rights to be taken away? Do you want to be extrajudicially killed? You know, do you want there to be no due process if you commit a crime? No, none of these people want any of that stuff. That stuff is fucking awful. No one wants that stuff. So what they're really saying is we want fascism as long as we're in a privileged class under fascism.
Left cannot be reasoned with. The only thing the far left understands is overwhelming force. And
oh my
the only
God.
thing that ever has been. So when did I start to understand that I was a fascist? When I started to understand that the only way to get this ideology out of our environment is by burning all their books and preventing them from speaking and jailing them if they try to teach this shit to kids in schools.
So you want the ideas that you don't agree with to just be deleted from reality. This is scary stuff, dude.
That's when. The classical liberalism created this problem. Classical liberalism, which says we should be able to push literally any idea into the free marketplace of ideas, and the best ideas will win. It literally created this problem. It is never going to solve this problem. As long as, and this is specific to what we're talking about today. I mean, I think about this very specifically in regards to queer Marxism and queer ideology. The idea that you're teaching kids that gender is not a real thing. The idea that you're teaching kids that gender is non-binary, that eliminating gender is a good idea, that abolishing the nuclear family is a good idea, that an ideal environment is polycules with no parental rights, all the children belonging to everyone else. Like, I don't think any of these things are good ideas. And I especially don't think any of these things should be taught to kids. But the only way we can prevent these ideas...
I'm sorry. Are public schools teaching kids that there's no such thing as genders? Is that like actually being taught in schools? Or is this lady mad about, you know, people saying stuff on TikTok? Some are, very few though. I mean, that's insane, but definitely not even close to a palpable threat to anyone.
Teaching kids that gender is not a real thing. The idea that you're teaching kids that gender is non-binary, that eliminating gender is a good idea, that abolishing the nuclear family is a good idea.
Abolishing the nuclear family? Yes, mom, father, and children. I know what a nuclear family is, but no one is pushing to abolish that, dude.
An ideal environment is polycules with no parental rights, all the children belonging to everyone else. Like, I don't think any of these things are good ideas, and I especially don't think any of these things should be taught to kids. But the only way we can prevent these ideas from propagating in our society...
So kids are being taught that there's no gender, the nuclear family should be abolished, and that, you know, parents are inferior to polycule, like... What the fuck are you talking about, dude? None of this stuff is real. I'm sorry, dude. None of this stuff is real. You done watched too much Fox News, man.
The public school system is literally to ban them, to burn all the queer books, to put teachers teach kids.
So you're freaking out about queer people. So that's a group, right? That's a group that's not ideologically based, by the way. And so your response is that you want books burned, people silenced. You're a fucking Nazi, man. You're a fucking Nazi. I'm sorry. You're a fucking Nazi, man. What the fuck should I call you?
We can prevent these ideas from propagating in our society through the public school system is literally to ban them, to burn all the queer books, to put teachers teaching this shit in jail.
Wow.
And not let them out until they stop teaching this shit, because they are not going to do it on their own. They are in an ideological cult. We are dealing with a massive, massive, massive cult that wants to take all our stuff, abolish gender,
take all your stuff? What the fuck are you talking about?
The police, abolish the prison industrial complex, abolish all borders, get rid of private food production, which means we're all going to starve, thinks that capitalism is responsible for climate change, and the only way to fix climate change and prevent us all from dying is to overthrow the United States government.
I never hear anyone calling for any of the stuff she's talking about. You only hear this type of stuff from the right. You only hear this type of stuff from the right. No one on the left is saying any of this shit. There's people that say capitalism is fundamentally flawed and, you know, that we're basically fucked. And I don't like that. I don't like that perspective because it's defeatist. You know what I mean? Like, if you think that the only way for things to get better is for capitalism to be overthrown, then you're basically throwing in the towel and just saying, you know, that all the bad stuff is just inevitable, but it's not. You know what I mean? There are common sense things, you know? The problem is that Trump is undoing stuff like that. He's undoing environmental regulation stuff. He's undoing... Dude, the guy fucking pulled out of the Iran deal, gave them a much worse deal. They accepted it, and then he bombed them 2 hours later. Shouldn't he... Why shouldn't he go to jail? You're talking about some teacher should go to jail? And by the way, like... How many teachers in public schools are teaching any of the stuff she just said? Maybe like 1 or 2. And if they got caught doing that, they would be reprimanded for it. There's no power apparatus that is pushing these ideas except for the right. It's a straw man. They're just creating this fucking enemy that doesn't exist. This lady's so fucking dumb, dude. That classic question, what would you have done if you were just a normal, you know, German citizen in the 1930s or whatever? It's pretty clear what she would have done.
We are dealing with an ideological cult, and classical liberalism is not going to defeat this problem, and we have to start being honest about that. And until people are honest about that, we are going to remain fucked.
Oh my God, what a dumb lady.